All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. It is 2 o'clock. We have some more people that have joined. So if you are new to these webinars, I know this year we have a lot of new customers. I don't see a lot of people in chat now, but you might review this afterwards. So, if you are a new customer, welcome. We're onboarding a lot of new people, so we welcome everyone that is new to not only our products, but also to this webinar series. We host those. I host these once a month, and we just go over some features, any new features that we've released, anything that has changed with the system. We have how-tos on basically how to do anything and everything with the system. And so we just like to take some time out each month and discuss these in a live webinar format. So it gives us an opportunity to show off our features, but also gives you guys the opportunity to provide feedback and to get your questions answered and all this good stuff. So these webinars are very helpful. They're always recorded as well. So if you do ever miss any part of it or want to review it or rewatch it, we do put them on our support site, usually the same day. So if you do want to rewatch it, you can do that. And you will get an email link too with the video, I believe, once it's on the site. So as long as you are registered for these webinars. And so this webinar this month is going to be a kind of a basic one, something we have gone over before. It's been a while. A lot of people might not know about these features. I do see them used every so often, but not really a lot. So I kind of just want to make aware of some of these features that we have that you can utilize. And if you're able to see my screen, hopefully you can. I do have a check-in station set up, and we can sort of see how it's been customized a little bit. We have different colors. We have a logo in the middle there. We have different text, one saying welcome to our school. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about. The page layout, the client customization that you can do within the check-in station. You can upload a school logo. You can change the background colors. You can change that top color there. That's blue. So we can really sort of customize your check-in station. And like I said, a lot of people might not realize that you can do this, that you can upload a logo and you can change some of the coloring scheme to maybe better reflect your school colors. So I'm going to go over the settings within your check-in station that you can use to customize your station. Then I'm also going to go over a couple of third-party tools that you can use to get the colors that you want, especially for school logo colors when you want exactly the exact color of your logos, not a certain shade of red or blue or yellow, but the exact color. There's one third-party app you can actually use to easily get those colors and to import them into the Identikit check-in station. So we're going to first start with the check-in station settings, the page layout settings for the check-in station. To change these settings, like any other settings in the check-in station, you do want to be logged in as an admin. So if you are not logged in as an admin, you don't have access to settings, so you cannot make these changes. So you do want to log in as an admin. If you need to switch the account that you're logged in with on the client station, you can do that by accessing the menu in the upper left-hand corner and just clicking log out. And then going ahead and logging back in with an admin account. Once you log in with an admin account, you will see a settings option here on the left-hand side. We're going to go ahead and click on settings, and we're going to scroll down almost all the way to the bottom to where we have the page layout section here. And again, this might not be something that you're aware of, or maybe what it can do, or maybe you've never clicked on it, but we're going to go ahead and click on that so we can review what you can do within this customization page. So this is going to change not only your home page, it does say home page at the top, but your logo is going to appear on that home page. But any color customization that you're going to do is going to reflect across the entire check-in system. So not just the home page, but any of the check-in pages as people go through and complete check-ins and checkouts. I mean, your whole check-in station sort of updates to reflect the colors that you choose. So let's first talk about uploading a school logo. So there's a couple of different ways that you can upload a school logo. If you look here at the top in this top text box, We have a default logo URL, but you can actually type in, or if you know your logo, like on your homepage, for example, you could right click on that logo on the homepage and go to copy URL, and it would copy that link. And then you could paste that link here. And let me just sort of I'm going to bring up identikit.com. Just so you can kind of see what this would mean. If this was my school logo, the Identikit 35 logo, I could right click on it and go to copy link address. And what that would do is that would copy that address, and then we could paste it right here. Now this image itself is not going to work because it's not formatted correctly. And really it's a good segue to mention that the URL, logo URL, doesn't always work correctly depending on how your website is set up. The logo file might not be a picture file. It could be a hyperlink to another page. It could be a different type of file that's not a picture file. So using the URL doesn't always work. I don't actually recommend using the URL. We're going to mostly talk about how to upload an image that's local on your computer. That seems to be an easier way. We don't have to worry about URLs and things like that. But I did just want to mention the URL and show you how that works. Just for the sake of it being a feature on this page, I just want to run through it. So, but we're going to look at the show upload image here, and I'm going to click that to turn it on. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and click all of them to turn them on because we're going to talk about all of them. But we're going to start with the show uploaded image. And once you click on show upload image, you'll get this little box here, and it'll give you some information here about image resizing. In my experience with uploading images here, as long as your image is somewhat of a square or a rectangle shape, doesn't really matter how big or small it is, as long as it's relatively a good size, not too big or too small, then you should not need to really adjust the width and the height here. They sort of have default numbers here, but you really will most likely not have to update those numbers. And we're going to do a test upload image here to sort of see what that looks like. And to upload an image, it's very simple. Just click on browse, find the file that you want to upload. We accept most all picture files, whether it's PNG or JPEG or another file type. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my file, and then be sure to click on upload so you get this successful status message here at the top. And then you do want to make sure that you click save at the bottom when you're done uploading. If you don't click save, it will not save automatically, like some of our other pages actually do save automatically when you make those changes, but this page does not. So I'm going to click on save. I'm going to actually click back on the home page so we can just sort of see that new logo right here. This is just a basic logo that I downloaded here and then imported into the program. So this would be where your school logo would be. And this is sort of how I downloaded it. So I didn't have to adjust any of the height or width of the size of the image. It's a pretty decent size there. That's big enough. And so that will work for what I needed to work for. So it just kind of shows you what your image is going to look like. Obviously, that logo is not going to appear on every page. If we start to click through one of the check-in processes here, we're not going to see that logo. It's just a homepage logo here. But we can see that the layout colors are going to stick with you there. So let's go ahead and go back to our settings menu. I'm going to go back into page layout, and so we can continue to talk about these other options. So before we go to layout colors, let's just take a quick look here at the welcome text. And if you haven't guessed already, this is sort of that welcome text that's on that home page. So welcome to Eflin Cheeks Elementary School. So you can actually have that welcome text say whatever you would like. So if you needed to update that for whatever reason, you could do that on this page as well. So we looked at uploading an image. Again, you really don't have to adjust the paper size as long as the image itself is a rectangle or square shape. It's a decent size. It's not scaled too big or too small. It should be fine just to upload as it is. Let's go ahead and also take a look at the screensaver. This is probably a feature nobody knows about or uses. We've actually had this feature out for many, many years. A lot of times, Windows takes the screensaver responsibility, but if your system maybe doesn't have a screensaver running, or you don't want to run it, maybe you don't want the computer to fully go into or turn off the monitor, maybe you just have your check-in station there and you just want that to pop up a screensaver. It's basically a text screen that you can have pop up, and then you could have custom text there as well. And we can see that at the top here under text message. So by default, when we activate the screensaver, it's going to say visitors check in/out here. That way, if the check-in station is not in use for an extended period of time, this screensaver will pop up on the screen, and they'll know that they have to check in at that station. And maybe you could type in a message that says something like, move the mouse to activate the check-in station, or something like that, because moving the mouse will cause the screensaver to deactivate. And so you can change some of the coloring with the screensaver, the font size, how big the lettering is on the screensaver, the text color, and the background color of the screensaver. And these codes here, you might not be familiar with. These are what we call hex codes. And these allow us to get the specific color that we want. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how to get those numbers when we talk about layout colors here below that. Because as you can see, layout colors also has those hex numbers, just like the screensaver does. So in addition to the colors, you can also set the idle time, basically how much time will need to pass when the system is idle for the screensaver to activate. It is defaulted to 10 minutes, and then you can click to enable the screensaver. And then you can actually click on test, and we can just sort of get an idea, as long as I don't move the mouse after I click test here. We can sort of see what that screensaver is going to do. It's just going to pop up a screen within the browser itself. It's not going to cover the entire screen like a normal Windows screensaver would. It would just cover the entire browser window itself. And again, you can sort of change the coloring and the font size of that as well, and the text as well. So now let's go back and we're going to look at layout colors. Next, I'm going to disable these two. And we're going to look at layout colors. And kind of like I said with the screensavers, layout colors, we're going to base the colors off of a hex code. And you can see all these codes here, all these different text boxes. And these are telling us what colors you want to change. So for example, the header background color, this top option here, this is our blue color that we have across the header here at the top of the screen. That's what that color is. The body background color, that is the background color of the rest of the page. So in this case, it's white, or sort of that off-white color. And that's kind of what we have here. And so we have, as we go down the list, we have our primary text color, our secondary text color, our button color or badge name color, our secondary button color, and then our card. So our card color. So there's a lot of different coloring schemes that you can change to really customize what your check-in station looks like. Now, for the most part, most people, when I do see that they've customized their check-in station, they usually only use the header color and the body color. Because when you start changing text colors, and those colors might not mesh very well with background colors, you could get to the point where you actually can't read the text or any text on the screen. And so then it might be difficult to reset it to get it back to where you can, where it goes back to the default yellow and white coloring scheme. So be wary if you start changing some of the text colors, and then maybe that text, you know, is unable to be read because of the coloring scheme that you chose. So we're going to actually look at and change some of these background colors. We actually, if you look here at the top in this description, we have a link to a website, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this link to open it. And this is just a basic color picking tool. And I'm going to show you a couple different tools. This is just one tool. I'm going to show you another one that might be a little bit easier to work with than this one, but I did want to point this tool out just because it is on our page. And this is just a color picker tool that has some basic colors throughout the spectrum. So as you click, you can just get some basic colors. So if you just wanted some basic coloring for the check-in system, you could click like red, for example, and then you'll notice our hex number is right here. And the hex number is always going to have that pound symbol there in the beginning. And that's how you know that's a hex number. So once you have the color that you want, you just copy that hex color to the appropriate text box here to update that particular color scheme. So for background header, the header background color, let's say we do want to change that, and we want to change that to this red color. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And I'm gonna go ahead and paste it there and then click on test. And we can see that it changes the color of the header. And then we could save that if we wanted. If we didn't want to save it and we wanted to revert, we could just click go back. That would actually revert it back to the color it was. In case you didn't want to leave it at red, you were just testing. And so you could do that for the rest of the coloring scheme here. So any of these other text boxes you can update with any color that you choose here, and then test and sort of see how that coloring scheme will work or will look on your system. There's another easier way, especially if you want to find specific colors. And for example, if I wanted a specific color within my logo, you know, we do have this blue color, but maybe it's not exactly that blue color that's in the logo. I want that exact color. I don't want a variation of blue. I want that exact blue color. This color picker tool is not going to make that too easy because you're having to select the color yourself. So it can be difficult to find the exact color of any school logo that you might be working with. So I'm going to show you a little trick here, something you can do within Google Chrome. You do have to be running the Google Chrome web browser, which I think most of you are for your check-in station. So in Google Chrome, what you want to do, just open up a tab and type in Chrome. If I could type in here, Web Store, Chrome Web Store. And if you get to the Google search results, just click on Chrome Web Store. It's chrome.google.com. And this is the web store. This is basically just a store you could go to download extensions for Chrome. And extensions are just basic little apps that you install within Chrome that add different functionalities that you might need. And one of them is what we call a color dropper tool. And let me make sure I have that. Yep, I have that name right. It is called Color Dropper. So when you get to the web store, just type in Color Dropper, hit enter, and you're going to find the one that says Color Dropper. That's the name of the app. This is just an easy to use eyedropper that will give you the exact color of anything that you hover over. So I already have this. I don't want to remove it from Chrome, but you'll get a little button up here that says Add to Chrome. So when you click Add to Chrome, it's going to install that within Chrome, and it's going to give you this little icon here up in the upper right-hand corner. This is the Color Dropper tool. Looks like a little dropper icon there. And so you'll see that in the upper left-hand corner. You might have to click on this little puzzle piece if you have other extensions on there like I do. But if you don't have any other extensions, you should just see that Color Dropper tool right there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And let's see here. So let's go back to our page here. We're going to click on Color Dropper. And so we can see that our pointer, hopefully you can see that, my pointer has changed. And we can see in the upper right-hand corner, it's got our little hex value. And we can see that value updating whenever we move the mouse over a different color of the page. So if I wanted to get a specific color, I wanted this blue color, right, for our header. I'm pointed at that blue color, and we can see how it is updated that hex code. So all you have to do is click once with the left mouse button, and we can see this logo actually has many different colors. It's a shade of blue, so we have many colors. We can see our hex codes changing. But let's just assume it was all one solid color. So when you hit your left mouse button, it's going to automatically copy the hex code that you need to your clipboard. So you don't have to, you know, hit copy or Control C or Control V, any shortcuts. You just left click once on the color that you want. And then let's go ahead and go back into page layout, and let's go back into our layout colors. And let's go ahead and paste that new color in there. And let's go ahead and click on test. And we can see that that has now changed the color to reflect. Let's go ahead and save that and then go back to better reflect that color within the school logo that I have. And again, that logo is that the coloring in the logo is shading. It's got many different colors of looks like red, blue, and yellow. So the blue does still look a little bit off. But like I said, if you had just a solid color logo, you'd only get one hex value there, and you would have the same sort of color. So just an easy way to get the exact color that you want. Again, it's just called the Color Dropper tool. And once you have it installed and you just activate it there, just hover over anything. And we can see as we hover over different areas of the screen and different text, we can see that the color dropper tool is updating to reflect that hex code. So it just makes it really simple to get the codes that you want, to get the exact colors that you want. All right, so let's go back into page layout. And so something else that you can do on the layout colors is also change the page zoom size. So if you find that your text size is too small, maybe you have users that are using the system that don't have great eyesight, they need something that's a little bit bigger on the screen. You could actually increase that zoom size, let's say like 110% instead of 100%. And we can sort of see how the text size has changed to reflect that new size. So if you need to update the page zoom, you can also do that here as well. I don't think there's a limit on here. So even if you did like 200, I mean, you can make it that big if you wanted to. And actually, I think I've seen a few systems where they do have it that big, and understandable, you know, I mean, if you have people that cannot see very well, or depending on where they're interacting with the system from, they might need a you know, bigger text. So, and again, these are features that not a lot of people know about, and let alone go in there and change them. So we like to point out things that sometimes, you know, people aren't aware of. Oh, you know, our system can do this or can do that. And that just helps you to sort of customize your system a little bit more. I do encourage questions. If you guys have any questions, please type them into chat, whether they're questions about this or anything else. We do know it's really busy right now. If you are trying to get a hold of tech support, I wanted to take some time for in this webinar to also address anything that you guys might be going through, any issues. If you guys have any tickets submitted to support right now and you're waiting to hear back, I would like to hear about your issues. If it's something easy that maybe I can answer right here, we could, you know, I could do that. We do realize that a lot of our support issues are a little bit more involved and it requires us to remote in and all these things. But you know, if you guys have any questions, or if you have tickets submitted to support with maybe something that could be relatively quick or easy to fix, you know, let me know here and we can run through it right on this webinar. That way it'll sort of help you guys get whatever you guys have fixed, any issues, and it'll help me to clear out some of the tickets that you guys might have in our help desk. So, you know, again, we are all hands on deck. So, you know, we do apologize if you have been on with our tech team or have not gotten support yet. We do work on a first in, first out sort of basis. So we are working on our oldest tickets first. So hopefully if you do have a ticket outstanding that you have not heard from us yet, that we should be getting to your tickets very, very soon. We'll start online chat up again. I know our chat is usually the first service that we basically disable during this time, because it is just so difficult to manage chat and email and phone and everything else with the tech team that we have. That's why we do, when you leave, and in case you guys don't know this, for our chat program, whenever our chat program on identikit.com is offline, and it will tell you when it's offline. Actually, let's go to identikit.com because it probably is offline at this moment. And we can see in the lower right-hand corner, it says we are offline, send us an email. And keep that in mind, when you fill this out and send it, it does send that right into our ticketing system. That goes right into our help desk as a new ticket. So when you do fill that out, you know, try to be as descriptive as possible. With whatever issue that you're having, make sure your name and email address is on there. And because this is, like I said, going directly to our ticketing system, and they come in the same way as, you know, if you leave a voicemail too, if you call in the support, leave a voicemail, that comes right in as a ticket also. And so does that online chat. And usually we'll start the online chat up again once it slows down. And that can vary. Usually it's probably towards the end of September or October, because we do tend to be busy up until about that time. Okay, so another question, Michael, is there any way to force this thing from Identicate to PowerSchool? We have some attendance records that show in the activity report, but don't show in PowerSchool yet from yesterday. Yesterday, we were having PowerSchool issues with slow posting. It was taking a little bit longer to post. Now, if you have records from yesterday that have still not posted today, then we need to know about that. I would want specific students or a report that you might have from yesterday, so I can look at the logs from that school and from those students to see why they did not post. I can look up logs on the back end to see why records did or did not post to PowerSchool. So that would be something that you would want to write into us about. Michael, if I could ask you a question, do you have a support ticket into help desk right now at this time? Because I can look that up, or if you can let me know what district you're with, I can go in there and look up. Okay. Can you let me know what district you're with? It might be a district I'm already working with, or at least I can look up a ticket for it. Generally speaking, we don't have ticket numbers. We fill it when we create a ticket. We will put the school or district name. So generally, if you call in and you give us your district name, we should be able to look up your ticket like that. Patrick County, okay. It doesn't sound recently familiar as far as me working with them recently, but the county itself does sound familiar. I think I've worked with them in the past. So what I'll have to do is, email me directly if you can, scott@identikid.com. Let me know exactly what school within Patrick County is having the issue. And then what I can do is look up the reporting for that school for yesterday and see the students there and look up logs. Or if you have specific students that did not post, you can pass those along to me as well. Again, it's scott@identikid.com. But yes, and that's actually a good point that I wanted to make is this especially this time of the year when it's just when we are busy, we generally we'll see a little bit of a slowdown on the PowerSchool sync. It's something that I always say is usually instant, but we don't guarantee that it's instant. Obviously, it should be posting regardless. So I mean, if you have no posting issues, that's a different issue. But if you have slow posting, it's taking like an hour. In the schools that I've seen recently, it's taking about an hour to post. We don't guarantee it's always going to be real time. It's not, we can't guarantee that. There's always middleman factors that can affect posting from our server to your guys' server. So that's never something that's guaranteed. We always like it to post in real time, and for the most part it does. But generally speaking, especially during this time of the year, it's hard to post in real time because of the amount of data that we have going through our system. But again, that's slow posting. If you have no posting from yesterday till today, that's another issue. That's slow posting shouldn't take a day to post. I've never seen that. So if that's the case, then we'll want to further investigate Patrick County. Let's see, Steven, let me see here. I'm having an issue with, let's see, if someone scans in their ID and they get a hit on SSC and the person approves it and they come in the next day, it hits again. I thought once it's approved, then it wouldn't hit again. Does this make sense? Yeah, that actually does make sense. There are two ways that can work. And it looks like yours is working one way where you actually want it to work the other way. And so when somebody scans their ID and they get flagged as a potential offender, you can either, and these are settings within your school manager. Actually, let's go ahead and open up School Manager and I can show you where the setting is. So what you want to do is basically when somebody gets hit on SSC, and I'm assuming in your specific example, this person got flagged as a potential offender, but it was probably a false positive, which means that the person is fine. They probably have a similar name to somebody else who is an offender. And so the person reviewed that alert and then went ahead and approved that person. So what they want to do is when they come in the next day, they don't want to keep getting flagged. Oh, and doubly because he's a police officer. So obviously, you know, he should be good. So what we'll want to do is you want to activate our pre-approved visitor list. And what that is, and then let me just remember where that setting is here. Let's see. Actually, I think it's on the client. Let me open up a client station here. So for example, if we wanted the pre-approved visitors list under visitor, we would go to the visitor badge in the badge settings. And we would go to add approved visitors to preloaded. I should say preloaded list, but add approved visitors to preloaded. So you want to make sure this option is on. And so what that's going to do is when that is turned on in your school manager, you have a preloaded list that's called pre-approved visitor list. And this will be a list of anybody who is pre-approved. So when that option is on and when somebody goes through that check-in process, they get approved, they are then added to this list. You cannot add people manually to this list. They can only be added through the check-in process itself when this is active. That's it. Once they're on this list, they are approved for a set amount of time that you choose. So if you go into settings here in the pre-approved list, you can set how long that time is. And so we can see here, my default time is 7 days. This does go in days. So I have mine set to 7 days. So what that means is for the next 7 days, anybody in this list who is approved, pre-approved, they will not get flagged again. They are on a pre-approved list for 7 days. They will not get flagged. Once the 8th day rolls around, their records expire. And the next time they come in, they will get flagged again because it's doing the sexual offender check again. And so it's always going to flag when the offender check is done. And that's why we have this pre-approved visitor list, just for that reason. And we do recommend that you set an expiration, but that you don't set it for too long, just because we don't know. I mean, you know, a police officer in this case, he's a police officer, but for other visitors, they might not be an offender one day, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be an offender the next day or the next week or the next month. We don't know. So you do want to be sure. And you do want that sexual offender check to happen every so often. So I would recommend keeping that within 30 days, within a month. So every month they would get rechecked, but then they would be safe for a month once they are pre-approved. Hopefully that answers your question there. So a couple of settings here. You want to make sure that your SOC check expiration is set in the school manager. And then in the school client, you just want to make sure under your badge settings that you activate add approved visitors to preloaded. And then that'll ensure that that works exactly how I laid it out there. Those are great questions though. You know, these questions and more can be answered here. This is our documentation site. In case you're not familiar with this, this is at doc.identikit.com. And this just has all of our apps listed here on the left. And so you're able to click on each and it sort of gives you everything that you can do within those apps. So, you know, how do you handle those SOC notifications? How do you handle that pre-approved visitors list that we were just talking about? You'll find more information here. And a lot of these articles also have videos that are embedded at the top. So if you don't want to read an article or find that videos are more helpful, you can just view the videos that we have for each section at the top. If we have a video, not all sections have videos, but if they do, you'll see them right there at the top. And again, this site, not a lot of people know about this either. I'm trying to really get the site out there. So This answers a lot of questions. I see a lot of people that wait for a really long time for support assistance for questions that really can be answered right here very quickly. And you can search for a question here too. So if you wanted to know about the pre-approved list that we were just talking about, you could type in the word pre-approved, and it's going to sort of give you anything, any article that might have anything to do with the pre-approved list. And we can see that our pre-approved visitors list article is right here. So just a really quick way to find and get to something that you need within this support site, because there's a lot of information here. It has a lot of info, so it can be daunting to try to find things by clicking on them. So your search bar there is going to be your best friend, I think. But really good questions. If you do have any other questions, please reach out to us. I know our support is busy. That's why I want to try to answer any questions I can here for you guys. But reach out to us if you have any other questions. Give us a call here into our support line, or view our documentation site here if you have any other questions that you need answered. If we don't have a topic for next month's webinar, generally we'll send out an email the week before to kind of let you guys know what that topic will be. So we will reach out to you then. We do always appreciate everybody joining us for these. We know you guys are busy, especially now, this time of the year. So we do appreciate you guys' patience and us getting back to you if you do need support and you have reached out to support. So we haven't forgotten about you guys. It's just taken us some time to get through everything. So we do really appreciate you guys' patience and working with us. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar. Like I said, just reach out to us if you have any other questions, and we'll see you here next month.